Number 12, Leah Holtz. Number 13, Jill Moyer. Number 18, Maddie Manns. Number 22, Emily Hill. And number 25, Mackenzie Schaefer. And now for the starting lineup for your Baldwin Wallace Yellow Jackets, junior goalkeeper from Pittsburgh, PA, number 1, Emma Bruno. Senior defender from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 3, Bree Osborne. Sophomore defender from Dublin, Ohio, number 4, Morgan Gray. Sophomore midfielder from Brunswick, Ohio, number 7, Kayla Webb. Freshman midfielder from Hilliard, Ohio, number 9, Olivia Kane. Junior defender from Dublin, Ohio, number 10, Kenna Poptic. Senior forward from Maslin, Ohio, number 11, Rachel Bender. Sophomore forward from Gibsonia, PA, number 17, Caitlin McGuire. Sophomore defender from Pittsburgh, PA, number 18, Josie Fenn. Junior forward from Macomb, Michigan, number 20, Alex Guido. And finally, senior midfielder from Stowe, Ohio, number 30, Cass Wakeman. BW is coached by Jim Woitkin, assisted by Tara Bowen, Allie Woitkin, Chris Kraft, Taylor London, and Vince Milner. And now at this time, we ask that all fans please rise and kindly remove your caps as we honor America and those who protect our freedom at home and abroad with the national anthem.
Welcome inside our coverage this afternoon of Yellow Jacket Women's Soccer. It's the Battle of the Yellow Jackets today. Baldwin Wallace and Waynesburg live on a very fall-like afternoon. It's officially the first day of fall, and boy does it feel like it. 63 degrees today after a fairly warm week. There's a little bit of a breeze. It's not necessarily windy, but breezy, blowing from left to right the way you're watching. And fall skies overhead, thick puffy clouds, but certainly feels like fall. No chance for rain here this afternoon, at least that's what we're told, and should be a fun one between Baldwin Wallace and Waynesburg. I'm Brendan Gulick. BW really playing pretty well. They had a gutsy come from behind win As we get the game underway, the Jackets are in gold, and Waynesburg is in black. We'll give you starters in just a moment. The Baldwin-Wallace Yellow Jackets came from behind on the road in a 5-4 double overtime victory over Hiram. And, of course, that game was a midweek game for BW, a game they really felt like they needed to have. Hiram not having a particularly great year. And when the Jackets fell behind early in the affair, it didn't leave anybody feeling too good. But a game-winning goal by Morgan Gray was able to seal things off. It came in the 109th minute. There were really not much time left in the game. 1:08:32 officially, so there was just a minute 28 possible remaining on that clock. The Yellow Jackets at one point were down 4-2, but scored in the 59th and 61st minutes to tie that game up. Kayla Webb had both of those. And the Yellow Jackets, who also got goals from Michelina Rush and Morgan Gray, had one earlier in the game as well. BW playing extremely resilient soccer, not necessarily good soccer. You don't want to give up 4 goals in a game as Rachel Bender wins a corner kick for BW, but you certainly can't doubt the resiliency. Bree Osborne, Morgan Gray, Kayla Webb, Olivia Kane, Kenna Poptic, Rachel Bender, Caitlin McGuire, Josie Fenn, Alex Guido, Cass Wakeman, all out there with goalkeeper Emma Bruno this afternoon. And that one didn't work out very well for Poptic, who tried to serve it in after the early corner kick. On the other side, Courtney Seifert, the goalkeeper for the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets, who are 4-1-2. They started 4-0, lost a game 2-0 at Muskingum, and they have drawn each of their last 2 against Mount Aloysius and Pitt Greensburg. They compete in the President's Athletic Conference. Courtney Seifert in goal, and the rest of the young ladies out there for Waynesburg: Megan Brisky, Gina Benura, Jessica Silbaugh. I don't want to take away from Alex Guido's run up the field. Tegan Jenner, Leisha Wagner, Leah Holtz, Jill Moyer, who's a really good player, Maddie Manns, Emily Hill, and Mackenzie Schaefer, who's a terrific defensive player. Both Moyer and Schaefer, sophomores on the Waynesburg side, and they are poised to have big seasons and good careers for the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets. Head coach for BW, Jim Woitkin, second year for him, and he's off to another good start with his team having pulled out results now in 6 straight games. And on the Waynesburg side, a young lady who's done a really good job leading the Yellow Jackets. It's Laura Heathius, who, on top of her coaching ability and what she's done with Waynesburg's program, she was also an extremely accomplished player in her own right, playing at the professional level. After playing Division I college soccer, she played in the Women's Professional Soccer League, was drafted by Sky Blue FC in 2012. And in the same year, she won the WPSL Elite Championship with the Western New York Flash, who are now known as the North Carolina Courage. This ball is played into the middle and picked up by Seifert. And then later in 2013, she was drafted 18th overall by Seattle Reign FC in the National Women's Soccer League supplemental draft. And, of course, the NWSL is currently the only women's professional soccer league in the country. And their championship game is later tonight. The same 2 sides that played for the championship last year, North Carolina Courage and Portland Thorns, are going to meet in Portland today for the league championship. Bender's on the doorstep, and she cracks it in the top corner. Rachel Bender has only found the back of the goal twice this season until there. Great feet in the middle, and BW strikes just 4.5 minutes into the game. Rachel Bender helps the Yellow Jackets, and I guess I should be more specific today because they're both Yellow Jackets, but helps Baldwin-Wallace get off to a better start. That is something that has crippled BW this year. Bender, who was an academic All-American a year ago, has now taken 53 shots this season, but that's just her 3rd goal. She's been a really good creator, and several goals have been scored by her teammates off of rebounds on her missed shots. But her efficiency rate, maybe not quite where she wants it this year. Great to see her put one in the back of the net. Rob Spies just blew his whistle. He's our head official. Gary Oscar and Adrian Danu will be his assistants today. 5 minutes into the game, BW leads 1-0 thanks to Rachel Bender. In the back line, this is Gina Benura, the junior from Moon Township, Pennsylvania. And after an illegal push on Olivia Kane, Waynesburg has a free kick from a really good spot. They're only about 34 yards from net. With the left foot, driving it high and wide, Maddie Manns tried to send it in the upper corner. So Emma Bruno starting in goal today instead of Sophie Widener. And now they have essentially split time on the season. This is Bruno's 5th game. Widener has played 3 times. Bruno, 5 goals allowed in 4 games. Widener, 6 goals allowed over 3 games. Bruno sends it away. Good battle for it in the midfield. BW comes up with it. It's Caitlin McGuire. Good pressure from Cass Wakeman. Ahead to Guido. Bender stays onside. The ball's thrown way up in the air her direction. Rachel controls it, and on one quick hop, spins and shoots it. No problem for Seifert there. 38:45 left in the first half. 1-0 BW. BW right now 2nd in the OAC with almost 2.3 goals per game. The only team that is scoring more frequently are the Capital Crusaders, who are at 2.6 goals per night. Always good when you see the team starting to put it together offensively. Yellow Jackets do lead the conference in total goals with 16. Another BW foul. On the other side, well, in the President's Athletic Conference, Waynesburg doing a pretty good job on the defensive side. Their shutout percentage is actually 2nd best in the pack behind Westminster. A little bit of a run here for Waynesburg. Good work from Bree Osborne out in that corner. Corner kick for Waynesburg. Maddie Manns looks like she'll send it in. First corner of the afternoon for the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets. With the left foot, this is bending in a dangerous area. Great team defense along the back line. Josie Fenn was there. Kayla Webb was there. And now Rachel Bender's off to the races. Rachel gets centralized. Trying to blow by Waynesburg. Bender rips it right at Seifert. Good effort by Baldwin Wallace's most dangerous offensive target. Good ball over the top from Kayla Webb. McGuire runs onto it, keeps it in play. Center is punched out. Seifert with both hands. Webb sends it back. It was knocked over, but no foul. And it stays with BW here. Like the energy in the fight early in this game from Baldwin Wallace. First 9 minutes have been productive for sure. Gotten 3 shots off, and have certainly made the most of them. Gotten one to go in the back of the net. The other couple were really good looks from Bender. Goal kick coming. Hard to believe we're getting really in the heart of the season at this point. BW right now currently sits in 2nd place in the conference. Another great opportunity. Bender with the left foot. That one was rolled too perfectly toward the middle. Jackets probably left one on the table there. BW is about to go play their next 3 on the road. They're in the middle of 5 out of 6 away from home. They'll be at Grove City, another PAC squad. And then they open up the conference. The rest of the way, it's OAC play. Capital and Ohio Northern right out of the chute. And those are going to be 2 very important games for BW. Capital, right now, the only team above the Jackets in the conference at 4-1. Ohio Northern, top 10 in the country. They're 4-2. Bender with a good ball played across the facing of the ball. But it's cleared away. That back line from Waynesburg is really being pressured early in this game, including freshman Leah Holtz. That's Tegan Jenner in the midfield with the ball at her feet now. Jackets think that their speed today can be a real advocate for them. With a record of 4-1-2, Waynesburg is certainly one of the better teams in the region. And this is an important game for Baldwin Wallace because you're running out of opportunities now to pick up important results outside of conference play. And those are important when you start thinking about the context of NCAA tournament possibilities if you don't get an automatic bid in your league. OAC is a tough competition league. Look at Rachel Bender close down on that. Rachel kept it alive, outrunning Benura. With the right foot, centers it, Kayla Webb. And she turns it over, looking perhaps for McGuire. So far, BW's Yellow Jackets are far outplaying Waynesburg's Yellow Jackets, but it is only a 1-goal difference. Rachel Bender with her 3rd of the year came just less than 5 minutes in. Far left side, Holtz pressing ahead. Good nutmeg. She avoids McGuire initially. Bree Osborne marks the midfield well. Little tap ahead for Mackenzie Schaefer. Cass Wakeman for BW sends it out to the left flank. Goal kick. Yeah, pretty much everybody in the OAC this year is at least playing reasonably well. And there are a couple of teams playing extremely well. For instance, the last place team in the league is John Carroll. 3 wins, 4 losses, and a draw. I actually had a chance to see them play in person at Case Western Reserve on Sunday, September 2nd. It was about 3 weeks ago. And even though they lost that game 3-0, I thought John Carroll played okay. In that particular matchup, they were also missing their best player, who is one of the best players in the OAC. So really from top to bottom right now, the way the league stands, I think it's shaping up to be a pretty fun OAC schedule. And again, that's only about a week and a half away from getting into full force. 14th minute, Kayla Webb. Tried to slot it toward Bender, who slowed up her run as Benura intercepted it. Moyer is out wide right. She hasn't gotten a ton of touches yet. Silbaugh slips it over. This is Waynesburg working in the middle. Back to Moyer. And a heavy touch gives it back to BW. Jenner needs some help. Schaefer stepped to it. Good work in that corner by Maddie Manns. And it looks like she's going to keep the ball in play. Beat Poptic, crosses it over. Bree Osborne and Morgan Gray clogging up the middle. And a foul on Waynesburg sends BW to a free kick. Of course, the John Carroll BW game will be here on this field Wednesday night, October the 17th. I know the Jackets are looking forward to hosting their conference rivals. Another team that BW would probably claim to be a rival would be the Mount Union Purple Raiders. They're off to a 3-3 start. Wins over Westminster, Penn State Behrend, and Hiram. Losses to Center, Mount St. Joseph, and Chatham. Some common opponents there. The Yellow Jackets beat Hiram in their last game. And they also played Penn State Behrend, but lost to the Lions 2-0 in the opening game of the season. Spacing for Waynesburg seems like it's okay, although a little clogged there on the near side. They worked out of that one okay. Silbaugh somehow got past Olivia Kane. Both teams with their starting 11 out there. Another goal kick. Waynesburg having a difficult time working the ball into the center of the defense. (29-10) in the first half. Nice win from McGuire. Connects with Bender near side. Rachel with a heavy touch. Benura pulled it away. Bender trying to stick with it. Good win from Kayla Webb. Maybe Webb couldn't feel the pressure coming from behind her. Still a chance for Bender. Rips it with the right foot. It ricochets off the bar. Guido is pummeled inside the box. Both players have the right to go for the ball, and there's a hard foul. That one is whistled on Waynesburg. Alex Guido collided with a Waynesburg defender. And again, both players have the right to the ball, and when neither of them possessed it, it was a nasty collision, but in my opinion, a good no call, despite the fact that Guido was knocked over. So here's Kenna Popdick with 28 minutes left in the first half on the free kick. And she tried to bend it in that back post. It just never quite curled on her. So far, BW playing like they wanted a little bit more in the midfield. They're winning a lot of these 50-50 balls, if you will. Yellow Jacket throw in. Let's try that again. BW throw in. Bender takes a shot, and on one bounce, puts it on the net there. Courtney Seifert makes the stop. So she's been tested, but answered the call for the most part. The goal she allowed, I don't think there was really anything she could do about that. BW trying to keep some pressure on. They'll throw in from the far side. Looks like Jim Whitekin might make his first sub of the match. They'll wait for a moment to do that. That's... Wow, I really thought that was a corner kick. Apparently it's a goal kick. I could have sworn that went off of Waynesburg. Lots of games going on around the conference today. Hanover currently leads Capital 1-0. As Michelina Rush comes on for Caitlin McGuire, and freshman Michelina Rush is quickly earning favor with Jim Whitekin and her killer instinct out on the field. She's been really good so far, has a chance to be a terrific player here in Berea for the next several years. Mentioned that Hanover leads Capital 1-0. That game's in the first 15 minutes. John Carroll's women kicked off at noon today, and they're losing to Hope 2-0. Waynesburg with their first buildup of the game legitimately. Kayla Webb with 20 minutes having ticked off the clock quickly gets it out of harm's way. Otterbein leads Manchester 2-0. Thomas More and Ohio Northern are scoreless. We do not have live stats available for the Heidelberg Teal contest. Marietta and Geneva kick off at 2 o'clock. Same thing with Muskingum and Defiance. Wilmington has Albion this evening at 6, and Mount Union at 7 o'clock tonight hosts Grove City. So those are your updates from around the OAC. Bender right in front again. Another good ball played into the middle. That time just a little wide right. 24-17 left in the first half. Baldwin Wallace 1, Waynesburg 0 on Rachel Bender's third goal of the season. Good fight from Bree Osborne. Kayla Webb picks it up. Now the Jackets, who are trying to stay onside, slide it to Bender across on the left wing. Rachel turns with the right foot, puts it right on her teammate. That was Rush in the box. Michelina couldn't finish it, but a beautiful cross from Bender. And Rush will try to learn from her inability to close on that one. Nice save from Seifert as well. That's part of what makes Rachel Bender so good. Yeah, fine. So she scored almost 20 goals last year, and in her career has been one of the better scorers in program history. But even though Rachel hasn't put up the same goal totals here as a senior that I think you might expect, I really think she's playing some of her best soccer this year. She's great with both feet, and her ability to set up her teammates has just been terrific. Now that was a mistake, swinging her leg way up high in a dangerous play, almost kicking Tegan Jenner up around the shoulder. But anyways, Bender has just been a phenomenal distributor of the ball this year. And I think she's playing with a lot less pressure as this one is cracked wide right of the net. Another long-range attempt from Maddie Manns.
Coming in for Waynesburg, number 9, Christina Galanka. Number 15, Amelia Beland. And number 27, Natalie Fortna. And coming in for Baldwin Wallace, number 27, Claire Cuthbertson.
So 4 new subs coming into the game, 3 for Waynesburg and 1 for the Yellow Jackets of Berea. That's going to throw me off all game. There's only a couple of other Yellow Jackets that BW tends to play against throughout the course of the year. Rachel Bender rolls it right on frame. Seifert there. Got a special doubleheader for you here this afternoon. We certainly hope you'll stick around for our coverage of the Baldwin Wallace men. They're going to play against Waynesburg this afternoon as well. It's a 3:30 scheduled kickoff. We'll have to wait and see if the game kicks on time or not. Part of it depends on what time the women's game here ends, but should the women's game not be delayed for any reason or go to overtime, then the men's game should start on time. We'll put it to you this way. The men's game will not start before 3:30. But if the women's game runs long, then maybe that one gets pushed back a little bit. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. Lots of action remaining here. We've still got a good 70 minutes of soccer. Flipped into the middle. Kayla Webb is doing a good job, I think, today running onto open balls. A couple of times she's found Rachel Bender, but still working on connecting more consistently. Waynesburg, the beneficiary of a foul in the middle of the field. It was against Kayla Webb. So a Waynesburg free kick. Gina Benura, the right center back. Drove it a good 40 yards up the field. Good fight from Michelina Rush. Nice play. And a better defensive play from Megan Brisky. Totally stymied the Yellow Jackets. That's Anna Wenzinger, who's in there now for Baldwin Wallace. Check that, Claire Cuthbertson. She just came on a couple of minutes ago. Silbaugh for Waynesburg in the corner. Less than 20 minutes left in the first half. And BW nearly made a big mistake miscommunicating there on that low cross in the middle. Bruno sends it up toward Bender. Wakeman redirected it forward, but it's off a Waynesburg arm, and so the play was blown dead. Two more BW subs waiting, including Wenzinger and Sydney Graneman. But first, Morgan Gray gets a chance to play a long set piece ahead. On the way, Bender anticipating the rebound, drilled it into the defender. It's good anticipation from Rachel Bender, but really solid awareness on the Waynesburg side. Almost a takeaway. Cuthbertson and Bender got bunched together, and Waynesburg got out of it. Mackenzie Schaefer, the senior from Upper St. Clair. Good job keeping her composure. Now Kayla Webb. Wakeman ahead. Rush onside. Nifty little move. Sends it across. Great ball. Bender finishes. Maybe the goal of the year. What a play. 2-0 Baldwin Wallace.
That's another BW goal for number 11, Rachel Bender, with that assist coming from number 8, Michelina Rush. And coming in for BW, number 14, Caitlin Jurtago, number 21, Anna Wenzinger, and number 24, Sydney Graneman.
Three new Baldwin Wallace players out on the field. You just heard them introduced. What a sweet BW goal. Rush to Bender on a perfectly placed cross. Rush had just a really tiny window to get that cross off cleanly. Bender felt it just in time, running from the backside onto the ball, and finished it as she is so often capable of doing. Good play by Bree Osborne to send that one out. Corner kick anyways for Waynesburg, but it's 2-0 Baldwin Wallace. They are out shooting Waynesburg 11-1 in this first half.
Number 18, Maddie Manns.
And all of a sudden this game is getting out of hand. If you're a Waynesburg fan, 2-0's a dangerous lead. Of course, if you have a 2-0 lead, the last thing you want to do is get comfortable because you give up a goal and then the opposition has all the momentum and they're only down by one. One of the more dangerous leads in soccer for sure. But I think the BW Yellow Jackets today, as opposed to the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets, BW really looks good early on here. 16:34 left in this first half. Bruno sends it away. Kayla Webb helped keep it away in the midfield. Now Cuthbertson. It got free because Cuthbertson tangled up her legs with Megan Brisky. The appropriate whistle given. 6th foul on BW. And Brisky, with some serious spin, sends one ahead. Claire trying to control it. Cuthbertson taps it forward. Waynesburg's buildup today is just lacking. Every time they've had a couple of chances, they have not been able to connect passes in the offensive third, especially when they've gotten the ball out wide left, as Bender sends that one way too far ahead for either Cuthbertson or Webb. And Rush just hanging out on the backside of the play, not near it either. Still waiting to see something from this Waynesburg side that gives them any kind of life. Right now it feels like they're just clinging on the game. Cuthbertson, a poor touch. Back to Waynesburg. See, it's plays like that leave you scratching your head. There's no pressure whatsoever. And Mackenzie Schaefer, instead of turning around, holding possession, and trying to move it up the field, she just kicked it out of bounds and turned it over. And now BW's got a chance deep in the offensive third. Good save by Courtney Seifert. So she bails out her senior teammate. But again, those are the kinds of things that Waynesburg's got to try to clean up a little bit here. BW is a pretty solid team, and they've capitalized on 2 good goals early on. You don't want to give them additional opportunities if you're Waynesburg. Bender with a nicely played ball ahead. Cuthbertson tried to run onto it. Seifert got there first. Seifert doesn't seem to punt the ball up the field particularly far. Let's see if the Yellow Jackets can take advantage of maybe working with some shorter fields. Of Baldwin Wallace's 12 shots, 9 of them have come from Rachel Bender, who is playing almost exclusively as the left wing here this afternoon.
Coming in for BW, number 16, Bella Szymanski.
Bella Szymanski running on. Kayla Webb gets a breather. Hannah Roth rolls it out of play. 2-0 Baldwin Wallace, 12:45 left in the first half. Our coverage of Yellow Jacket soccer today is brought to you by Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, a global recycling company, by Domino's Pizza in Berea. Call them at 440-891-0030, or you can order online, domino's.com. And by the Comfort Inn in Middleburg Heights, where your comfort's just a part of the service we provide our guests. Brendan Gulick with you on a cool fall Saturday afternoon in Berea. Baldwin Wallace 2, Waynesburg 0. Rachel Bender with her 3rd and 4th goals of the season. Been a really solid day for her. She has now doubled her season goal total and is looking for a hat trick. Given the number of shots, the high volume shot total she takes, I don't think that's unrealistic. Morgan Gray with the right foot, long ball ahead. Cuthbertson tried to leap up after it, but a foul on one of BW's players. Could have been on Szymanski. Waynesburg's only gotten 1 shot off. That came from Maddie Manns on a free kick about 35 yards away from the net. They just haven't had a whole lot of threats. Only a couple that have been really close, but no shots actually pulled off out of them. 2 corner kicks for Waynesburg early in the game, but neither one of them really manifested themselves into much. Far side throw in. Lofted in by Caitlin Jerkago. A chance in the box. Bender almost had it in the first half. Trying to stay with it. She was frustrated on the takedown that there was no foul called. Szymanski sends it way off frame. Rachel Bender borderline fouled in the penalty area. Good anticipation. Bender quickly closed down on it. Anna Wenzinger is certainly playing hard. Josie Fenn throws it into Rachel. She feels out Roth, goes to her right, unloads from a long way away, and just shoots it too tall. Wenzinger. Good foot skills. Fenn comes and helps her out. A little bit of an opening. Slid in there with a left foot. Fenn takes another touch. Wide left. That one rolls out of bounds for a Waynesburg throw-in. Maybe something building here for Waynesburg. Good cross, but Bruno read it nicely. 8:20 left in the first half. Baldwin Wallace still leads 2-0. That one rolls across off of one of Waynesburg's players. Good to see the Yellow Jacket men sitting there on the sideline, taking in the game before they'll play later this afternoon. Roth having trouble, so she turns to Benura, asking for some help. Bender pulls it away, spinning it toward Rush. Good effort, but Seifert was there. Josie Fenn forcing Waynesburg toward the sideline, and it does cross that touch line. Hannah Roth couldn't keep it in play. Play is halted for a moment so that a couple of subs can run on for BW. Michelina Rush.
Coming in for BW,
round of applause for her.
23, Courtney Marzensky. Number 31, Andrea
Can't play much better than that.
And number
Jim
32,
Whitkin
Isabella Reigel.
has a chance to talk with her about some tactics, a teaching opportunity. See him working with her on body positioning during some kind of scenario. He's trying to show her where she was versus where she should be. Although what specific scenario, I'm not entirely sure. Rolled ahead off Cuthbertson, though. I'm not really sure what Bruno was doing there. But you need to pick that one up a little bit sooner. Under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Played across. Cuthbertson and Szymanski all running forward. Bender's off the field at the moment. A chance for Cuthbertson to close down on it. And it kind of fizzled out. Rachel Bender was among those that subbed off in that last round of substitutions. 2 goals for her in the first half. She certainly deserves a little bit of a breather. Haley Frizzell can't really get around Szymanski. Good effort here from Jenner. Love the way the Yellow Jacket ladies are defending on that far side. I think that one was off of Jerkago. Apparently hit Waynesburg. Okay, so Jerkago will throw in. 4:36 left in the first half. Waynesburg with a really good look here. Finally take a shot from inside the box. Mackenzie Schaefer, who is listed as a defender but is playing up far ahead in the formation. Put that one on frame. Another Waynesburg chance. That one crossed the end line. So a goal kick with 3:45 left in the first half. If you tuned in a little bit late, a great start from Baldwin Wallace and Rachel Bender. She scored 5 minutes into regulation. Not even, in fact. And then scored her second off of a beautiful, classy ball played in from the right corner from freshman Michelina Rush. Part of what is freeing Rachel Bender up this year is that BW is really scoring from all over the park. And I think teams in years past where they've been able to kind of hone in on Bender, this year they've not been able to focus so much of their attention on her because the rest of the team is playing so well. And in doing so, I think Rachel's having more fun. She certainly looks like she's playing better, even if her goal totals aren't what they had been in the past. When you get a confident, loose, free, fun Rachel Bender, look out. I think she's in the running for OAC Player of the Year this season. Certainly has the talent to accomplish that. .2:15 left before halftime. If you want to follow along with the live stats with us, there is a link on bwyellowjackets.com to be able to do so. Right now, BW statistically dominating this game. They're out shooting Waynesburg 16-3.
BW, number 25, Maddie Farrell.
Maddie Farrell coming on. 140 and counting here in the first half. Jerkago throws it in. Trying to recover. Andrina Scatino, who is playing pretty well so far in her first year at BW as a defender. She checked in there. Hard to crack the starting lineup when you've got Bree Osborne, a senior, and Morgan Gray, who is a sophomore, but In my opinion, I think Morgan Gray is the team's top defender. Meanwhile, we've got a booking coming here, and it's going against Waynesburg. Dangerous play. And the referee's decision, no play on the ball from Megan Brisky. And so she's given a yellow card, and the Yellow Jackets from BW will take a free kick. Clock stopped with 1:02. Morgan Gray will take the free kick. High ball with a lot of touch on it. And it wasn't exactly the way the Yellow Jackets drew it up. So with under a minute to go, Waynesburg takes a goal kick here. Rachel Bender has scored twice on 10 first half shots. The other 6 shots have come from 6 different players. But this has been the Rachel Bender show early in this game. Isabella Regal on the far side. Watched it roll out of bounds. Final 20 seconds of the first half. BW lost their season opener to Penn State Barron 2-0. But with 5 wins and a draw in the last 6 games, they are really rounding into shape, and a great first half here. Trying to take maybe one more crack at the net.
2, 1.
That'll do it for the first half. Baldwin Wallace 2, Waynesburg 0. We'll come back with second half action in roughly 15 minutes here on BWYellowJackets.com.
OEC, a leading technology company in Northeast Ohio, has an established educational partnership with Baldwin Wallace University to help drive the regional technology industry. By granting unprecedented access to patented technology with real-life application, OEC helps enhance and further BW students' educations while preparing them for their future careers. Together with OEC, BW graduates will continue to shape and grow the regional technology community. Visit us at oeconnection.com.
Today, our whole team is here for you and your teams.
Cleveland Clinic cares for athletes
and the active.
We'll get you back in the game.
Whether your goal is moving pain-free, running in the park,
or hitting one out of it. Trust Ohio's #1 orthopedic care.
to keep you at your best.
Cleveland Clinic is here for you.
Anytime, anywhere.
Find your way to the best care at clevelandclinic.org/access.
Back on BWYellowJackets.com, where it's halftime, and Baldwin Wallace leads Waynesburg by a score of 2-0 on 2 Rachel Bender goals. One came in the 5th minute, and the other about halfway through the first half on a gorgeous cross from young forward Michelina Rush. Brendan Gulick with you. Happy to be joined at the beginning of the second half by the Yellow Jacket men's coach and former women's coach, Rita Ayers. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, not a problem. Great
What a
day.
surprise. Glad to have you.
Feels like fall.
Yeah, finally. How about that? 63 degrees, I think, is like the forecasted high temperature today. And most who are out here watching the game actually need a jacket on, which is kind of nice. First day of fall, and it actually feels like it. The ladies playing really well. 5-1-1 on the season. Dropped their opening game to Penn State Barron, but results now in 6 in a row. And while Rachel Bender might not be scoring at the rate which she had been the last couple of years, it really looks like she's playing good soccer, comfortable with both feet, and she seems to me to be having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, her game has progressed over her 4 years. She kind of came in, and if you use the term one-dimensional for somebody who's a regional American, where she would get you the goals. Now she's actually creating more goals for her team. She's the proverbial hockey assist. She's breaking the first line of pressure that's allowing other players to do things. So her game has really grown during her time here.
Glad to see her growth, no doubt about that, and her ability as a senior now to rub off on some of these younger players, because this is her last go-round.
Yeah, it's a really unique makeup for this team. They've got a senior in the back line, they've got a senior in the midfield, and they've got a senior up front. So, each line is kind of covered by an older, experienced player. So it's a really good makeup for their team. Yeah,
and the other thing I think that's noticeable about that, while there are lots of underclassmen on the field, not necessarily an inexperienced group, because so many of those underclassmen have played the last couple of years.
Yeah, no, I think this is a very deep team. There's certainly some talent, but Jim has done a nice job bringing in good groups of players, so they've got a great balance, but it's certainly one of the deeper teams that I've seen in my time at BW.
Well, they've definitely shown some resiliency, especially with that road victory at Hiram earlier this week on Tuesday. Down early 3-0 in the first 15 minutes. They won the game 5-4 in double overtime. Jackets have to play some defense here at the outset. Of course, Kenna Poptic is still around after her sister graduated a year ago, and Kenna is playing pretty well, but in the back line, you mentioned Bree Osborne, the one senior who is back there. I think Morgan Gray and her ability and her play at center back has been terrific in these first few games this season.
Yeah, she has really developed. Certainly a solid player coming in, but just seeing her growth over the last year has been tremendous.
Battle of the Yellow Jackets this afternoon. Baldwin Wallace and Waynesburg. Opening 2 minutes here of the second half. They play it back to Bruno. Lights are on, but not really taking effect on a cloudy afternoon. And Bender accidentally touched that one with her forearm. So a Waynesburg set piece. Of course, this is a doubleheader today. We've got the women's game, and then the men will start no earlier than 3:30, but does depend on, I would imagine, in some regard, when this game finishes up.
Sure.
What are you most looking forward to in seeing your guys get out there today?
I just want to see if we're continuing to grow. We've had a good run here. We've won 2 in a row, and some of the things that I don't think we're doing very well early in the season, we've obviously been stressing in training, and they seem to get better. So our challenge today is, as we get ready for conference a week from today, is are we continuing to get better? So in the next couple of weeks that we're playing our best soccer.
Hard to believe the conference schedule is basically here. 2 big ones right off the bat, Capital and Ohio Northern, to get things rolling. And it feels like everybody across the conference this year continues to get better throughout the beginning month of the season. Well, the Jackets are looking forward to getting out there and competing. Kayla Webb wins a free ball. Bender angles toward the middle, rips it with the right foot. On one low hop, handled okay by Courtney Seifert. That's Rachel Bender's 11th shot of the game. And while that one didn't go in, sometimes we've seen her take those long shots. And even if she doesn't get credit for assist, so many times it turns into a rebound goal.
Yeah, she hits a really heavy ball. The ball has a lot of movement. Rarely do you see a goalkeeper catch her shots cleanly. So She has a great technique, and especially coming in off the flank where she can get her hips around it. She hits a ball that's very, very difficult to handle.
42 minutes left in regulation. Yellow Jackets, we've been doing that all game. They're both the Yellow Jackets today. BW from the midfield stripe. Morgan Gray takes the majority of the free kicks. Cracks this one into a crowded area. Bender got her right foot on it for a moment, and then it's sent high and wide by Caitlin McGuire. Good effort. I think one of the distinguishing characteristics about this ladies' side for BW, team speed seems to be pretty good this year. Yeah, Rachel, when she gets an open space, is pretty good, but I feel like a lot of times you see, more than just Rachel winning foot races to balls, and that helps create a lot of different scenarios on offense.
Yeah, I mean, I think top to bottom, this is a very quick team. Kayla Webb can run forever. I mean, she would give some of our guys a run for their money on the track. So, and she's grown as a soccer player as well.
She's having a great year, no doubt. 4 goals on the season. She's got the ball at her right foot here. Good footwork. Tapped ahead, gets it back on the give and go. That couldn't have felt good. Bender tried to close it off. Missed wide right. Everybody else was watching Webb and Megan Brisky, who was a little slow to get up. Brisky given a yellow card late in the first half, so she's got to be careful. But those two collided shins pretty hard.
Yeah, I think that's been one of the changes of Rachel's game just over the last couple of weeks, is trying to create something out of nothing. She was kind of trying to do her thing and combine in her space, but now, slashing into the box, looking for that rebound, and she, probably should have finished that off. Those little pieces are probably why she's been starting to bang goals here.
5 minutes into the second half, Baldwin Wallace still leads Waynesburg 2-0. Good fight from McGuire. I'm interested in your perspective, too, on Rachel lately having essentially almost exclusively playing out on the left side. But we've seen her play both sides and do so pretty effectively. Where do you see her growing, whether it's continuing to play well out wide left or her ability to be versatile?
Well, I mean, I think ultimately that's Jim's decision. I know when I had her, I liked her on the left side simply because we can get her a little bit more isolated, and I didn't want her necessarily crossing the ball. I wanted her to come in and shoot. So by putting her on the weak side, she was able to come in and get onto her strong foot. So you play her centrally, she's automatically walking into a double team, and everybody out there knows Rachel Bender. So we don't need to help them by making it easy for them to double team. So I think Jim has moved around. I think most of the games, I mean, she's played that left wing, but I do think he does look to move around. Very similar to what we do with Danny Ruppel on the men's team is teams are game planning against that kid. So if you can move them around, it may upset the balance of the team a little bit.
You mentioned Danny Ruppel as BW has a throw in near side. Poptic will take care of it. Danny having another really good season after winning an academic All-American honor a year ago and breaking a couple of school records. Has anything he's done surprised you?
Not really. I mean, I've coached Danny since he was younger, so that was a nice piece of already kind of knowing him coming in. I think maybe the one thing that does surprise me is just his physicality. He's been working hard in the weight room, and he's a littler guy, but he's strong. And I think the challenges his first year where people would be able to run him off the ball, this year they're not able to do that. So seeing him grow and physically mature, it's great to see him develop into a leader. He was named a team captain this year, and when Danny came in as a freshman, he was a great teammate, but he wasn't that personality guy, not somebody you could see. So I think just in terms of his development and maturity as a person, I think being a part of Alan Culp's leadership colloquium really helped him, and he's turned into quite a leader. Obviously, he's a very average student as an academic All-American as a sophomore.
37-37 on the clock. That's a very appropriate way to put it. Rachel rolls it into the middle. We've seen Kenna Stones come on here in the second half as well. You bring up a good point with Dr. Culp's leadership class that a lot of student athletes take. And for those who aren't familiar, it's I think it's a really great class, and I'm not sure that every university or every college especially in this conference. I'm not sure that every school has an opportunity like that. Where have you seen it benefit your program?
Oh, just the fact that future captains are being developed at an early age. I think Allen does a great job. But I mean, if you look at the SIG, Lacey does a tremendous job with our Center of Innovation and Growth. I think it is definitely a program that makes BW special, and then being able to tie some of their virtues and their ideas and their culture into athletics has been awesome. So it's been really, really great. And you figure last night, I mean, the kids in the class right now, we're sitting down with Chris Antonetti before the Indians game, talking about the Indians culture. I mean, what a great opportunity for BW students.
Bender looking for her third, and she sends it wide left. 36-20 left in regulation, with BW on top 2-0. We're visiting with head men's coach and former women's head coach Reed Ayers, who's been at Baldwin-Wallace. If I'm not mistaken, I don't want to misquote myself here, but are you the longest tenured coach right now?
No, Coach Hare has me.
Coach Hare's got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fortunately,
I certainly know you were toward the top of that list. BW's been a place though that you've been able to be for quite a long time. What's it mean to you to not just coach here, but be part of BW's family and work here and make this your life?
Well, it's just such a cool place. I mean, without a long, boring story in the middle of a game, I had really no intention of coming to BW. There was a guy who I went to grad school with that was kind of egging me on and, hey, come out, check out BW. I mean, we had old school artificial turf, not this beautiful facility they play in now. And there wasn't a ton of tradition on the men's or women's side. And came in, and in 2 hours, it was like, oh my gosh, I feel like home. And it's never changed. The people are awesome. Just this week, we've had Brian Harrison in chatting. Coach Gibbs who's our wrestling coach, took a half hour and was talking about a championship culture with our players. And so it's that kind of interaction within the department. I mean, it's a very, very neat place. I mean, everybody pulls for each other. They support each other. It's just an awesome place.
I have to admit, that's one of the things I have grown to appreciate about the athletic department here as well. I've been fortunate to work at several different places, and I can't say the same thing about many of them. There is a lot of support from other programs for each other. You hear stories about it, big D1 universities, or maybe the football team and the men's basketball team have a good relationship, but sometimes it doesn't necessarily coexist within other programs in the athletic department. And I truly feel like, for example, on Wednesday night, the volleyball team's playing, and you've got members from the women's basketball team and men's basketball team there. And, your team sitting down on the sideline here watching the ladies play, and I'm sure they'll reciprocate that a little bit later on. And the coaching staff seem to all get along really well. It's a great culture.
Yeah, no, I think, and again, tying back into that leadership colloquium, it's all sports. So I think some of the young leaders are developing a relationship with other sports, other athletes. Laura Wolf, who's kind of liaison with our within our department to create activities. We had an event in August to kind of kick off the season. It was all the athletes out here at Finney Stadium, and had some fun and played some games. But it was breaking down barriers instead of it being isolated to just the men's soccer team or the football team. It was everybody intermingling and getting to know each other. It was awesome.
It was a really cool event for sure. A great way to welcome everybody back for the 2018-2019 year, which so far has gone pretty well for all of the sides. Even the golf teams, who don't get a chance to play a ton in the fall, but try to take advantage of some of the good weather. Both golf teams have competed well. Cross country certainly running well. Tennis teams getting a couple of tournaments here and there in the fall, but that doesn't happen too many times. But the primary seasons for soccer and volleyball and football. Waynesburg continues to struggle with their buildup. They have not yet taken a shot in the second half, being outshot tonight 23-3. And they've had no answer for Rachel Bender, who's taken 13 shots of her own and has scored both BW goals. 32:47 left on the clock, and right now the Yellow Jackets are playing with a lot of confidence. And that would be the BW Yellow Jackets. That said, Rachel Bender called for a foul, and some of the fans upset about that.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what was happening there. Rachel is a very physical player. She uses her body well, and it looked to me like she was grabbed onto from behind. But hey, it's refereeing.
It's a good play by Bree Osborne to just clear the ball out of play. I mentioned Kenna Stones earlier. We didn't see her in the first half, but I think she provides a really nice reserve piece off the bench in the second half because of her physicality and the strength in her lower body.
Yeah, I mean, Kenna's adapting to a new role. Jim's moving her a little bit higher up the field, trying to play her as a prototypical target player. I mean, she's got a good frame, good soccer ideas, and I think just trying to find the position. I think her first year and a half, I think it's just been trying just to find that spot she's comfortable and could make the team better. I mean, she's a very good player, so it'll be interesting to see how the transformation of playing on the front line helps her.
31-35 left in regulation. That's a good little connection from Silbaugh to the near side and Leah Holtz. But McGuire there to help peel her away. Popdick, Osborne, Gray, and Fenn, and that back line, they have been tough to crack. And even when they occasionally today have given a good look, it's been a small window and not one that's been open for very long.
No, they're very organized in transition. They get numbers back quickly, so that really limits teams' ability to get in behind and to create the chances, which obviously Waynesburg has struggled with today.
Bender called for another foul that time. Our head referee, Rob Spees, said she grabbed onto the defender. Rachel usually contains her emotions pretty well out in the field, or at least doesn't make them outward. She plays with a ton of heart, but she's not exactly the wear the emotions on the sleeve kind of player.
Yeah, no, she rarely lets things get to her, so she's a competitor. I mean, she is a kid who likes to win, and I think that's always been a great trait. You look at somebody who's got headlines and the awards she's had, but I mean, she just wants the team to win. If they're up 2-0 and she has no goals, she's okay with that.
Yeah,
as long as she's playing well and feeling like she's helping the team succeed.
Shalina Rush just came on. See what kind of impact she can make. Rush trying to chase the ball here. Leah Holtz holding it off in the corner. And it trickles across. I know you've certainly followed the game and been passionate about the game at the professional and international level for a long time too, and doing some work with some of the United States Youth Academy stuff. But today is the NWSL League Championship game between Portland and North Carolina.
Yep.
What do you think about women's pro soccer and the way that right now it seems to be in as strong a position as it's ever been after the first couple of professional leagues folded? The NWSL really seems like it's in a great place.
Yeah, I think just soccer in general. It's the MLS games, the NWSL games. What's really cool is the crowds and the excitement are generated by people that maybe aren't quote unquote soccer people. They understand that it's a great time. It's certainly the games are exciting. There's no stoppages. There's no timeouts. So they come and the professional organizations have done a very good job of just making it an event. And I think that's really helped grow. I mean, certainly the soccer people were always going to support it. It's just where these cities are finding out how fun and how enjoyable soccer games can be.
Well, I think there's no better example of that than FC Cincinnati, who have put now what is going to be an MLS team, but for the last couple of years, a United Soccer League club. They've put them where the Cincinnati Bearcats play their college football games inside Nippert Stadium. We get another stoppage, and it looks like another booking coming out here. Waynesburg is none too thrilled, and that one is on. This one is on Jessica Silbaugh. Reed, we'll let you get going. Thanks very much for stopping.
Hey, no
by.
problem. It was great to chat with you, and certainly hope you enjoy the afternoon.
Oh, it's going to be fun. Good luck tonight.
All right, thanks.
All right, Reed Ayers, our head coach for the men's program, also very familiar with the women's side after leading the women's program here for more than a decade, as the Yellow Jackets still hold a 2-0 lead against the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets. Anyways, just to get back to that thought, I mean, FC Cincinnati, they are in the process of starting the construction for their new stadium. Good ball played in by Bender to Rush, but knocked away pretty quickly. Anyways, the new stadium will be built pretty soon. I think they're starting construction within the next few months down in Greater Cincinnati. And having already won the MLS bid, there's a lot of build-up and discussion about the immediate future of FC Cincinnati. But to Reed's point, it's really cool to see a community like Cincinnati, for example, which is not necessarily a soccer town historically. There's not necessarily a backing for the game there until FC Cincinnati came to town and they marketed the daylights out of this team. And it's been as fun to watch that team play professional soccer as any in the entire country at any level. They draw, at times, more than 20,000 fans a game. And I think Major League Soccer looked at that and said, okay, this just makes too much sense. This is a product we can't ignore. Rachel Bender comes out of the game, 26:45 left in regulation. It's BW 2 and Waynesburg nothing. Brendan Gulick with you on an afternoon that's cool and cloudy and very much feels like the first day of fall. An appropriate day to switch seasons officially on the calendar. That's a hard foul, and we're going to see a booking. This is the first yellow card given to BW, and it's on Anna Wenzinger. Not entirely sure the reason for the discussion on the far sideline, but perhaps head coach Laura Heathius had something to discuss with the official about. 26-24 on the first game of two today. We're in the second half. On the way up from Waynesburg. And another foul. All of a sudden, this game is being called incredibly tight. So Waynesburg with a golden chance to take a free kick just outside the top of the 18 from dead on. Tegan Jenner stands over it. Jenner tries to curl it in, and it is just wide right.
Coming in for BW, number 16, Bella Szymanski, and number 25, Maddie Farrell. And coming in for Waynesburg, number 14, Maddie Walker.
Couple of substitutions on both sides. Everybody looking for reinforcements here. BW's goals came pretty early on in the game. First one 5 minutes in, the second one not long after that at all. Waynesburg just unable to crack anything off here. This is a good opportunity though as Bree Osborne heads it away. Good hard clean tackle. The ball rolls across the touchline. 24:32 on the clock. Again, BW just a couple of games remaining before they get into the beginning of conference play. Tapped ahead. Stones rolls it over. Szymanski. Kenna Stones playing an important role right now with Rachel Bender off the field. Well, another whistle. It's becoming a common theme. Poptic tries to clear it away. Oh boy. Misplayed by Brisky. Yellow Jacket ladies here from Berea on the home side putting together a good fight. This is not proving to be an easy second half.
Coming in for BW,
Comes
number
Alex
20,
Guido.
Alex Guido.
Poptic to throw in. Loose in the middle. Guido is there. Tries to chip it with her right foot. And just never really could put much on it. Courtney Marzinski, by the way, is in Rachel Bender's spot at the moment, up on the front left side of the field. Jim Whitkin giving a lot of different players a chance to get after it today. Over the top, maybe a chance here for Leisha Wagner. Well defended by Morgan Gray. 21 minutes remaining. Well done. Maddie Farrell playing in the midfield. And with a nice win away there, got a solid round of applause. Michelina Rush thought maybe she could chip it over the top. Instead, drilled it right into Megan Brisky.
Coming in for BW, number 11, Rachel Bender. And number 31, Andrea Scatino. And coming in for Waynesburg, number 9, Christina Galanka. And number 16, Hannah Semboyer.
Jackets lead it 2-0. Couple more subs on. Good push ahead for Waynesburg. But Morgan Gray fizzles out the opportunity. Christina Galanka denied a chance to run toward the net. Inside 20 minutes to go in regulation. BW's back line breaking down a little bit here. They have not been quite as sharp in this second half. Osborne sends it out. Just over Szymanski's head. Yellow Jackets seem a little out of funk at the moment. The Waynesburg side, that is. Trying to rally something together. There's just not a whole lot of life right now from the Waynesburg side. I know you're playing with a 2-0 deficit, but for a team that at least has a solid record so far, I'm a little surprised to see that they're not really all that organized as the game's gone along. You could make the argument that the strength of schedule for Waynesburg hasn't been very strong. Deauville, Hilbert, and Franciscan, all non-conference opponents, and Marietta in the conference. The Pioneers are not necessarily one of the OAC's best teams, and those are the 4 wins for Waynesburg. But then they lost at Muskingum, which really makes you scratch your head. And overtime draws with Mount Aloysius and Pitt Greensburg lead you to believe that perhaps Waynesburg's record is a bit inflated compared to what you otherwise might expect. And the Yellow Jackets on the BW side certainly feel like they should be able to take care of business today. So far, so good, but got to finish it out here. 17-30. I think Waynesburg's playing fine, but they really haven't matched BW really at all the whole game. They've only gotten 5 shots off in 73 minutes of action. It's not really a winning recipe. Although offensively they have threatened a good bit here the last 10 minutes or so. One sent out for a throw-in in the corner. Goal kick.
Coming in for BW, number 24, Sydney Graneman.
So Graneman returns for Wakeman. And now it's Guido, Rush, Szymanski, Bender, Graneman all up front. And you've got Matty Farrell playing in the midfield as well with Fenn, Osborne, Gray, and Poptic in the back line. Good little step over try from Tegan Jenner. Szymanski just unleashes it up the field. Nice takeaway from Michelina Rush. Boy, Rush really sticking with that one nicely. Boy, a foul called on BW. This referee is taking some serious heat from the fans in the near stands. You know, one of the fans has been ejected from the facility. And the referee said that play will not resume again until he leaves. So Waynesburg has a free kick, regardless what side of the fence you sit on. I don't think the officials have made many friends today. It's taking a little while because he had to walk a long way off, but that gentleman has almost removed himself from the stadium. All right, whistle blows and play continues. 15-15 left in the game. There's a foul in the midfield. And now a whistle blows. The head official is walking over to say something to Jim Woitkin, BW's head coach. Although I'm not entirely sure what. Sounds like Jim has to come across the field here maybe to tell the fans to lay off or something to that degree. I'm not entirely sure. This is unprecedented. Certainly not something you see very often. The entire BW team going to get together in the middle of the field. The clock stopped with just under 15 minutes to go. We'll step aside, too, here on BWYellowJackets.com. Well, I have to admit, I've seen a lot of things, but I have never seen a coach asked to walk across the playing field to address the fans because the referee is not happy with the constant criticism from the fans. I have not seen that at any level of competition ever. High school, college, professional, any sport. That one left me scratching my head and an awkward position for Jim Woitkin to be in. What's he supposed to say to his fans?
7, Kayla Webb. Number 9, Olivia Kane.
That's very
number 27, Claire
odd.
Cuthbertson.
The Yellow Jacket ladies on the BW side, again, both teams officially nicknamed the Yellow Jackets. I apologize if that's been confusing at any point tonight. Rachel Bender bends one into the middle. This one is loose from Rush, off the top of the bar, and then finally dove on by Courtney Seifert. The official had already thrown out one fan, but apparently he was not happy with the continued harassment. I'm not really sure how you want to classify it. Whatever the case is, just about every time that he is called a foul on the field, some perhaps Waynesburg fans, some perhaps BW fans, I have no way to distinguish between the yelling, but he hasn't made many friends today, that's for certain. Okay, 13:30 left in regulation, and everybody is trying to just focus on getting through the final 13 minutes. And if you're Waynesburg, the game's not over yet, even though you're down 2-0. Still a chance to try and climb back in here. For sure, if Waynesburg could come back and win this game, this would be a signature win this season for them. They are undoubtedly looking for a win to really hang their hat on. It was a nice start winning their first 4 in a row. And right now, Waynesburg is regionally ranked. But I think the Yellow Jackets from Waynesburg would recognize the quality of competition from BW. And if you're Baldwin Wallace, you're trying to continue this nice roll. After losing the first game of the year, 5 wins and a draw over the last 6. And a chance to go back on the road for the next 3 with some momentum. Bender in the corner, touches around a defender. That one crossed the end line. Goal kick. "12 minutes left to play."
Coming in for BW, number 18, Josie Fenn.
Webb tried to head it down, but apparently glanced off her arm. Josie Fenn returns. Haley Frizzell up the right side. And Webb pulled it off her foot. Ran out of bounds with it. BW throw. Men's game is scheduled to start at 3:30. And as of now, that would stay the case. The only way that would get pushed back, I would imagine, is if somehow things changed quickly. Long ball played into the middle, just out in front of Michelina Rush. Good try over the top from Bender to Rush, trying to return the favor that Rush paid her early in the game. Rush taps it over. Poptic sideways flicks it forward. Webb couldn't get enough on it. It's a BW throw with 10 minutes to play. Bender decides to play this one to the outside. A lot of times she's turned to her inside shoulder. Still found enough room to shoot it. Smothered by Courtney Seifert. Nice job by Seifert. Two 2-0 BW with 9:32 left on the clock. Good job by Olivia Kane stepping in the way. Seen a lot of long volleys back and forth, but neither team building up much. And Bender hit that one with her elbow. Baldwin Wallace out shooting Waynesburg 27-6. It's been that kind of afternoon for Waynesburg. Bender, good read. Puts it ahead for Graneman. Nifty footwork from Graneman. Oh boy, an opening for Webb. Rush closing down 2. Seifert was there. Misplayed by the defense. 8:15 on the clock. Waynesburg still scoreless. No pressure on Morgan Gray at all. Olivia Kane. All the way up the field and across. a chance there for Maddie Walker. Bender ahead. Couple more subs coming on. 7:10 remaining.
Number 33, Margot Duval.
Margot Duval coming on now for Michelina Rush.
Number 17, Emily Fetchy.
A reminder, we've got the men's broadcast coming up at 3:30. Kyle Klimo will join me for that call. Hope you will stick around for that one. The Yellow Jacket men have won 2 games in a row. Try to make it a third here at home, and it will be just their 3rd home game. Duval couldn't quite catch up with that one. The former shore woman from Avon Lake.
Coming in for BW, number 21, Anna Wenzinger.
I'm not sure why the restart, but apparently Waynesburg needs to take the goal kick again. 6:10 left in regulation. Good effort from Duval. Less than 6 minutes to go. A rare mistake there from Morgan Gray, not clearing it enough over the top. By the way, Amanda Donahue is back playing as a center back right now. Bree Osborne has checked out of the game. Waynesburg trying to build up. Ruo Fang Hayden. Haley Frizzell unable to get it going. And now Webb plays it up to Bender. Cuthbertson in the middle, Duval up the backside. Bender's got that space, takes a shot looking for the hat trick. And it's saved by Courtney Seifert. Bender trying to run it down. Seifert bobbles it. Put in the middle, and Cuthbertson buries it. Baldwin Wallace with 4 minutes and change left in the game. Add a 3rd goal. Claire Cuthbertson, her 1st of the season. Good pressure by Rachel Bender. Forcing Seifert to come over and try to grab it. And she took her eye off the ball, and Bender gets credit with the assist. It's Rachel's 5th assist of the season. That goal's a dagger. I have a really hard time seeing Waynesburg putting 3 goals on the board here in the next 4 minutes. Given their lack of offensive proficiency all game, they've only taken 6 shots. So the outcome not really in jeopardy here. Both teams just trying to get through the rest of the game healthy. We will talk with head coach Jim Woitkin after the game today. Catch that on our social media channel pretty quickly after the game is over. It'll probably be posted within 30 minutes or so. Donahue clears it up. 2:45 left in the game. Ooh, hard, nasty collision. Sembauer tries to send it across, and Bruno's there on one hop. Webb switching sides of the field. Nice accurate pass to Margot Duval. Ahead for Cuthbertson, looking for her second. It is in! Claire Cuthbertson, 2 goals within 2.5 minutes. 4-0 BW.
Let's get another goal for number 27, Claire Cuthbertson.
A great pass from Margot Duval, and Cuthbertson just tucked it in the bottom left corner.
Two minutes remaining in the final half.
What an afternoon for BW, and how about this little stretch they're on? 9 goals now over the last 2 games after digging their way out of that 3-0 hole at Hiram to win 5-4. Foul on Waynesburg. Cuthbertson heads it toward the corner. Bender giving chase. Bender wins it. Rachel into the middle. Flicks it over the top. And out of everybody's reach. 1 minute to play. Baldwin Wallace is going to pick up their 6th win of the season. And their 6th consecutive result. Rather, 7th consecutive result, 6 wins and a draw. Kayla Webb shoots wide right, while Waynesburg is all of a sudden spiraling downward. They had won 4 in a row, and now they're going to pick up their 2nd loss to pair with 2 draws over their last 4 games. 2 goals from Rachel Bender, 2 goals from Claire Cuthbertson. Does Bender have a hat trick in her? Deflects out of bounds. Only 10 seconds left in the game.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Rachel sends it toward the middle,
2,
and it's
1.
punched away. That shot will not count. A 4-0 win for Baldwin Wallace this afternoon over the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets, and BW goes to 6-1-1 on the season. I'm Brendan Gulick. We'll see you at 3:30 for the men's contest. BW and Waynesburg on the field again here in just under an hour. It's about 40 minutes away on BWYellowJackets.com.